Hoback Knives, maintenance and adjustment, video number 5. Sticky lock fixes. So this seems to be a common problem with a lot of knives. Occasionally it happens to our stuff. We don't send anything out of the shop that's sticky, but occasionally you'll get one due to atmospheric conditions like moisture in the air. Actually dryness does it sometimes. It's a whole freaking voodoo black magic thing that makes locks sticky. I mean, I can send a knife out of the shop, it's not sticky, the next day I can pick it up and it'll be sticky. It happens. I'm still analyzing why it happens, but there are multiple factors that kind of bring this all into play. So, a couple of quick fixes. If you got a brand new knife, you open it up 10 or 15 times and then the next day it's a little sticky. The best thing you can do is just grab a Sharpie. Sharpie works the best. Pencil lead works okay, but the Sharpie seems to work the best that I've found. And you just take a fine tip Sharpie, put once, if you look on the lock, you'll see where it's wearing. Let me get my camera to focus. You can see that dark spot right there. That is where the lock is wearing on the locks, the tang of the blade. So if you just take your Sharpie and just super lightly just do one little swipe right on that mark, that's all you need. And then open and close it 10 or 15 times. Take a Q-tip, wipe off that area really good with a little bit of alcohol on the end of this, and then give it one more quick swipe with the Sharpie. What that's going to do is it's going to load the carbide on the lock face with a little tiny bit of Sharpie, and it's also going to clean the oil off of the lock face, because oil makes locks stick really bad. So once you do that, flick it open 15-20 times. If it gets a little more sticky, put a little more Sharpie on it, and just keep flicking it. Once they break in, they don't stick. That's just a matter of life with titanium for a lock. That's why I switched over to the Customs having a steel lock insert. I got tired of dealing with that. We got 80-90% humidity here in East Texas, and it makes locks really sticky. You go to Arizona, I could ship this knife to Arizona sticky, and it would show up in Arizona not sticky. It's just, it happens. I think a lot of it has to do with the moisture in the air, allowing the lock to slide over further and wedge itself. When you open the knife, what's happening is you have a lot of factors involved with the blade hitting and putting pressure and tension on these parts, and what it does is it allows the blade to actually over travel just ever so slightly when the titanium flexes, and the lock bar is able to travel over further than it normally should when it's slippery, like from moisture or oil or anything like that. So bit of rambling there, but what you want to do is always make sure that your lock face is clean. That's why I use grease for my bearings in the HRD, because oil migrates and it gets on your lock. Grease prevents that. It doesn't migrate as badly unless it's really hot outside. I like to use that. Again, Sharpie is what I recommend for getting the initial break-in period over if it is a little bit stickier than you prefer. Let's see, what else is there? Make sure your pivot is tight. If your pivot isn't tight, it's going to allow the blade to flex around a little bit, and when it flexes, it's going to allow the lock bar to flex over further. That's a big thing with that. So keep up on your general maintenance, keep your knife clean, keep oil off the lock face, and you should be good to go. That will pretty much cover any problems you're going to have with sticky lock.